City getting 4th place, is that a surprise? That's all down to Van Gaal. We can be annoyed about that, we can be frustrated about that, and it is horrible and it isn't very nice. But the reality is that we should not be sat here talking about Manchester United and Bournemouth abandoned. We should be saying Manchester United have won 4-0, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because City have won. We haven't got top 4. Get Van Gaal out of our club, get Mourinho in, and we start to be happy about that. But the reality is we're not. We're talking about, as I said, Stan Collymoore's tweeted it. GMP police have come out and said that there's been a controlled explosion. Stan Collymoore's come out on Twitter and said that he's been told that there's something been found with wires and pipes involved in it, which would suggest that it is a bomb. As I've said, hopefully that is just it could be a joke. It could be a joke. And if it is a joke, it's a very sick joke, and hopefully they'll catch the people who's got it. But the ramifications of if we're going to play Bournemouth or not, if this is an explosion like that, then there's going to have to be massive CCTV trawls, massive forensic implications. The match against Bournemouth isn't going to get played at United tonight, tomorrow night, or even Tuesday, possibly not even Wednesday. So that goes into the FA Cup. Can we play it behind closed doors? Would we play it at Bournemouth? 4th place is gone now. We only need a point and then we'll finish 5th anyway. Could we just say each side have a point? Would both sides be happy with that? I just think football is smaller than something like this. Walker's saying it was a cell phone attached to a pipe. That's what Stan Collymore was saying, had been told, and it was in a toilet. I mean, it just makes you feel sick. It makes you feel absolutely sick. Part of me wants to be angry about the fact that, United are an absolute mess and we are awful football side, and we still finished 4th and lose out on goal difference because we're in 92nd position out of 92 top flight English clubs for goals at home at Old Trafford. Part of me wants to do that, but I've got no passion to do it. I've got no drive to do it. I know it's happened, and I know we should be cross about it, and maybe on the 9 o'clock show I will be, but at the moment I don't feel that. I feel really sick about it. I feel really sick about the fact that fans, both sides, any club in the Premier League can go to a game and potentially be put at risk like that, and we don't know the full ramifications of what this risk is. I'm hoping it's just somebody committing a joke and they'll get locked up and they'll get dealt with. But if it's actually genuine and something's been spotted and prevented that would have caused injury or serious loss of life, then that's just not right, is it? And it doesn't matter whether you're going for the title or you've been relegated today. It pales into insignificance because you should be able to go to football matches. Anybody should be able to go to football matches and do it safely. And there's no, I know there's people throwing jokes out there and everything like that, but it doesn't matter who you support, it doesn't matter who you're from. If it can happen at Old Trafford, it can definitely happen at the Emirates, it can happen at Anfield, it can happen at White Hart Lane, it can happen anywhere, in any country, Celtic, wherever. And the football world needs to unite. And I commend the security forces for what they're doing, and the stewards and everything like that. They've done exactly the right thing. I don't think anybody complained about the game being abandoned, and the minute it's a suspicious package, it's going to be abandoned, because the world we live in, a police officer's not going to walk up to it, mess around with it and go, oh, it's just a joke, let's get the game on. You've got to do it properly, you've got to get the experts in, and in the next few hours and days we'll come to know the full extent of what that actually is. But it just makes football irrelevant. It really does. I've got no anger or frustration towards Van Gaal, the players, or the club, or anything like that. I can wait for another day. Where did it all go wrong in our season? We'll discuss that at 9 o'clock, but I suspect the first few minutes of that will be recapping on this. We don't know. Things will happen. GMP, the Greater Manchester Police, have said there has been a controlled explosion, so they've had to deal with something. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bomb. I would say that it doesn't mean it's a bomb. In the days following the July bombings in London years ago, there was so many controlled explosions around every city in England because everybody was finding suspicious packages. That's how you deal with them. And I pray to God that is the case, that it's just a suspicious package, that there is no incendiary devices in there that would cause injury or harm. At best case scenario, it might be somebody committing a joke. It's not a very funny joke, but you don't want it to be. What we don't want it to be is what we're all fearing, and we don't want to really mention their names, that it is some sort of organisation who is trying to cause mass loss of life. Anywhere that's bad, whether it's public transport or football or anything like that. But because it's Manchester United, because it's, we've had tragedy in the past, we don't want it, irrelevant of that, we just do not want it to be happening. We'll find out, we're going to find out, and I think a lot of us, football fans everywhere, are tentative about what it is that will be fined. But we'll just have to wait and see. Yasha says great job done by United as a football club who handled the situation well. Yeah, don't disagree with that. Dukes is saying there is a bomb and it has been defused. I've not heard that from any credible news outlet. I know it's coming out a lot on Twitter and other things, but I've not heard anything like that. And I hope and pray that it isn't a proper bomb and that it is just some sort of prank or suspicious package. But you've got, whether it is or it isn't, you've got to deal with it. And I suppose it strikes home that this may well happen at some point in the future, and it makes you sick because we're all football fans. We can all have rivalries, but horrible day, and that's all I'm going to say. It's a horrible day because nobody deserves that. It sickens you to think what could have happened. It sickens you to think that it has happened. We've lost fourth place, and on a football sense, I'm not underplaying that. We are a football channel. We are fans of Manchester United. It's not acceptable, and to lose it on what will probably be goal difference if we beat Bournemouth, I don't know. Implications of when we will play Bournemouth, as I said, I don't think we'll be playing them in the next couple of days, because if it is a suspicious package, there's CCTV trawls, there's forensics, there's all sorts. Old Trafford's a crime scene for the next 2 days, so we won't be playing at Bournemouth. Maybe we can play it at Bournemouth. Maybe it'll get played behind closed doors. Personally, we need to focus on the FA Cup. When people challenge you, when people do things like this, and if it is a credible bomb threat, then the only way to react is to stand up to it. The FA Cup has to go ahead. We have to get excited and build towards that. The Bournemouth games are relevant to me because whether we draw it or if we both just said that it's a point to each, we'll finish fifth. That's it. It's done, isn't it? What does it matter? Neutral ground tomorrow, says Walker. Yeah, maybe. We need a sharp striker next season. There's people mentioning other. This is why I've closed the live comments for this. I must explain, because I don't want it up on there who people are saying who's behind it or anything like that. We don't know whether it's a genuine bomb. We don't know who's behind it. But the reality is, whether it's real or not, it sickens me, and I'm sure it sickens all of you, because football is an enjoyment thing at the end of the day. Football is life. Football is enjoyment. We love our football. We love our club. And when people attack that, we do need to unite and stand together, and I'm sure the football will do that. And whether it's a joke or not, I think today just shows that people can go to football games and be put into serious danger. It's not funny if it's a joke, and if it's genuine, I hope whoever's done it is caught and dealt with, because it's sickening. A few people up there chanting City. You know what? I don't actually give a damn. I don't give a damn. I expected you to get fourth place. And in light of events, I think it's quite childish to come on and start chanting City, because it could have happened. Well, at least they'd have entered the Etihad a lot quicker than they would Old Trafford, because we fill it. But it could happen there. It could happen anywhere. And football doesn't matter. Football doesn't matter at the moment. Until we know the full extent of what they've tried to do at Old Trafford to our fans, football doesn't matter, because fans are all that matters. We've endured enough this season in a football sense, and there needs to be a change at Old Trafford. But so to have that at the end of the season, it makes me sick, and it would make me sick at any football club. So absolutely horrible. Don't really want to talk about City at the moment. Might do at 9 o'clock, but until we know the full extent of what Manchester United fans and Bournemouth fans have potentially been at risk of today, I'm just gonna leave it at that and say well done to the security services and the stewards and the fans as well for how they behaved. I didn't hear anybody moaning about the match being abandoned, because safety of people comes first. Football comes a very, very distant second. But at 9 o'clock we will be live again. Where did it all go wrong for Manchester United season? Hopefully we can get into that a little bit more, talk about the ramifications of City, and have a bit more clarity on what's happened at Old Trafford today. At the moment, it's a suspicious package. It's a controlled explosion. That is it. There's lots of people going around saying it's a bomb. We don't know that. It's a controlled explosion, and the reality is, hopefully, and I think we're pretty safe to say, there is no loss of life. Because if it was, who knows what the score would be there. We'll leave it at that. Join us at 9 o'clock. Hopefully we can talk a little bit more about football, because that's what we are. But football sometimes comes a distant second. And I know I should be really frustrated and angry with Van Gaal and the board and losing out on fourth place. But if loads of lives have been saved and somebody's tried to take them today, then does it really matter? At the moment, it doesn't. But see you all later. United stand, 9 o'clock, as per usual. And We will talk about football, please, Ahmed, but sometimes football's not important, and I don't care. I'll argue with that anybody. And if somebody's put a bomb in Old Trafford and tried to blow people up, I haven't got the appetite to talk about football. I'm sorry. And until I know what the situation is with that, I'm not going to start talking about football, and I don't apologise for that. Thanks for watching. See you all at 9 o'clock. Hopefully we will be talking about football then. Hopefully it will be just a controlled explosion of nothing. But I'm going to get off now because I don't really feel like talking about football, and I don't want people to start saying talk about football. Thanks for watching. Tis the United Stand. It is about your opinion. See you all at 9 o'clock.